Hey guys, today we're going to do some work with value, and we are going to be trying to shade a sphere like this one, okay, using professional drawing pencils, okay. So drawing pencils are kind of unique because you're going to have access to 6 different ones, okay, and they start out on one side. They are really hard, and the harder the pencil, the lighter it's going to be, okay? And the softer the pencil, the darker it's going to be, because the softer it is, the more graphite is going to come off on the page. So these are the 6 pencils that you're going to have. HB is kind of right in the middle, and you're going to see right there on the pencil what it is, okay? So you want to keep checking and make sure you're using the right one, but HB is kind of like a normal number 2 pencil, okay? It's right in the middle. HB is right in the middle, and then you're going to have a 2H, and the way that I remember which direction is which is I think of H as meaning hard, okay? And the harder the pencil, the lighter it is, okay? So you have a 2H pencil, you have an HB pencil, you have a B pencil, you have a 2B, a 4B, and a 6B, okay? 6B, you'll see, is really dark, okay? You can make it really dark on the page, okay? So let's talk about what we're doing here. The first thing you're going to do, just to kind of get used to the pencils, is fill in this sort of value scale over here. And don't pay too much attention to the one here because it's been photocopied and it's not great, okay? So just think of what you're trying to do is go from really light to really dark, and in a nice, even way. So you might even ignore the fact that there are lines here and just try and make it really gradual from here to there. So the way that I'm going to do that is starting with my lightest pencil, okay, the 2H, and you're going to have a little bit of white down here, but then you're going to start here and you're just going to kind of work your way up, okay, and I'm actually going to go all the way up with this super light, and this might seem pointless, but it's just an exercise to get you familiar with kind of the lightness and darkness. So see how I'm holding the pencil? I'm not holding it like this, like you normally would write. I'm holding it way down here, and I'm kind of using it on its side so that I can make it super light, okay? And then I'm going to use the next one, and the next one is HB, okay? And instead of starting where I started last time, I'm going to move this way just a little bit and start right here, okay? And notice it is a little bit darker. And don't worry if you go, I'm kind of coloring over here, don't worry if you go outside the lines. This is more about value and getting used to. You're not trying to be super neat right now. So I'm going all the way up with the HB, and when I've gone all the way up, then I switch to the B. And again, move this way just a little bit. So I'll start maybe right here. And now, notice it's also darker, but I'm also going to start pressing a little bit more, especially as I move up. I'm going to press just a little bit harder. Okay, and you move all the way up. I'm rushing it a little bit just for the sake of the video. So the last one I started here, so I'm going to move up to maybe here. And just moving up, pressing a little bit harder as I move up. And with this one, I am going to go all the way to the top. And again, it doesn't matter.
Kelly, call 3104, please. Kelly, call 3104.
Doesn't matter if you're outside of the lines. Next one is 4B. Again, I'm going to move up a little bit more, maybe to here, and pressing a little bit harder. I'm still holding my pencil way down near the end. Up, up, up. And I feel like this one needs to be even a little bit darker than I was making it, so I'm going to go back over it. Okay, and then switching to the 6B. I'm going to start right about here for this one. And with the 6B, I'm going to go nice and light pressure at first, and then as I move up, I'm just going to press harder and harder and harder until this is as dark as I can go, as hard as I can press. Okay, so you should end up with a nice gradual shift in value. Okay, white down here, and oh, you couldn't even see my darkest. So dark as you can go all the way to the top. Okay, and then switch over to, after you've done that, you're going to shift to the sphere, and this is the same thing. Okay, you're trying to imitate this, and you're going to start with which one first?
Alex Shapiro to the attendance office, please. Alex Shapiro, please come to the attendance office.
2H first, all right? And notice on this sphere, there's kind of a circle here, a bit of a circle. See that circle? So that's what you're trying to sort of imitate on this one. So you don't want to draw in that circle, but just kind of keep imagining it. And notice this little guy right here is the light source. It's like a light shining right there, which is why the light is brightest on this side, and it's going to be darkest down here underneath. So I'm going to just start and kind of going back and forth, and you're trying to get nice even strokes. Some people will even do these little circles, which is nice because then you're not going to end up with a lot of lininess. Okay. So again, I'm going to cover the whole thing, and I'm doing these little circles. And I know it's more challenging when it's a sphere because you have to draw curved lines. When we were doing the bar on the other side, it's all straight. So it does get a little more challenging. And you're just going to go back over it until it's nice and even and kind of filled in. Okay, and then you're going to switch to the HB. And then you're going to move this way just a little bit. So leave some without, so it's just the 2H, and you're going to start over here and fill it in, making darker and darker. I'm going faster than you're going to want to so I don't lose your attention on the video, but and you can shift your paper too. I'm trying to keep it in one place for the sake of the video, but it helps to move it around so that you can do these nice curved lines. And fill it in until it's nice and smooth, more smooth than mine is. Shifting to a 2B, and again, I'm going to start further this way, further down this way. Making it as nice and smooth as possible so you don't end up with big heavy lines. Okay. And switching to what am I on? 4B. There it is. And again, move this way a little bit. I only have 4B and 6B left, so I need to make sure I'm getting as dark as I need to here. And I'm also starting to, as I get closer to the bottom, I'm starting to press even a little bit harder. But for the most part, you're drawing pretty lightly this whole time, okay? Okay, and then switch again to the 6B. And 6B is going to be kind of, you know, from about here down, but the closer I get to the bottom, the harder I press. And I'm pressing hard down here at the bottom, okay? Okay, so you should have something that looks a little like that. And if you feel like it's not quite dark enough, go back and make it a little darker. Okay, and then you're gonna use something called a blending stump, but just a little bit. Kids always want to overuse these and make it so smeary everywhere, okay? So with the blending stump, you're just going to really lightly go in and blend and see what can happen. It already just happened to me. If you feel like you like your circle without the blending stump, that's great. Actually, we should all be learning how to shade without the blending stump, but I know a lot of times kids like the way it looks when it's smoother, so I want you to know how to use this, but know that it can really quickly be overused. See this dark kind of smudgy mark that I already got in my lightest value up there? That's what you want to try and avoid, okay? So make sure that your blending stump is nice and clean before you use it, and I will show you in class how to clean them. You use a piece of sandpaper, okay? But you want to blend out your lightest values first and then drop down into the darker values so that you're not bringing the dark stuff up into the light zone and making it all muddy and mucky, okay? And don't overuse this thing, okay? So that's looking pretty good right there. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead and call it good. Okay, give that a shot.